Sir is holding position as President of Trivandrum Spine Society, Executive Committee member of ASSI, and National Delegate of AO Spine Indian Subcontinent, Section Editor of JOCR, and Reviewer of Indian Spine Journal. And Sir's skills is in minimal invasive spine surgery, spinal deformity surgery, adult and pediatric, spinal tumor surgery, endoscopic spine surgery, and orthopedic trauma of long bone and tertiary level spine trauma treatment. So, as we all know that Sir is an apt person for giving us tips and when a doctor can retire on financial tips. So, without wasting much time, Gopi sir, shall we move on to the topic? Gopi sir.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. Very excited, Dr.
Can you hear me, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen and can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll shut off. Thank you very much, Dr. Shimi, Dr. Johnny Sebastian, Dr. Gopi sir, and for my kind introduction. None of them is relevant in this topic. So I'm very glad that IAP has taken this initiative to get house surgeons and young pediatricians right on the track, right at the right time. Because when you say about retirement, it essentially means financial planning. So, as MBBS graduates, when we are asked, I'm primarily an orthopedic surgeon, so I'll try to rate something with which we are taught. So when we are asked, when does chronic osteomyelitis start? It's a catch question asked to us in the MS exam or in the PG exam. So when do you call a bone infection as chronic osteomyelitis, or when does it start? So typically the definition says it is after 6 weeks, but actually it starts on day 1 because untreated acute osteomyelitis ends up as chronic osteomyelitis. Very similarly, the question of when can I retire starts right when you finish your house surgency. When you get your first salary, that's exactly when your planning for retirement starts. Unfortunately, most of us in our era have got absolutely no idea of this, and we start thinking about retirement only when we start getting in our 50s, and that is where the problem starts. So with this, let us go on. Whatever I have a disclaimer, whatever I am discussing today or alluding to today is what I've learned from Wellcon, which I would request all doctors to be a part of. This was started by Dr. Ramnath Kuthe, a radiologist from Mumbai, who started this for self-education of doctors. So it's a financial drive to educate the doctors about financial planning and self-reliance. So after this, you can, if any of you are interested, you can just drop an email to Gopi sir or to me, and I will very well be happy to get you on board with on Wellcon. So at the outset, I am no financial expert. I am sharing only what I've learned from Wellcon and what couple of years which I've been able to practice. So we will essentially speak about being financially independent right early in life so that we can plan our retirement. So these are the disclosures. We will not speak about no tips, no trading, nothing, because these are not purview of financial independence. We'll talk about what is passive investment, what is wealth creation, and what is financial education. A clarification, what I tell might not be acceptable to you. Be a swan. Pick up what you want. You are happy to discard what you don't want. We will have no conflict in the discussion. So exactly what is financial freedom? So it's very difficult to explain in real terms, but basically it means that when your passive income is more than your expenses with no loan, no liability. I repeat, when your passive income is more than your expenses is exactly what we mean as financial freedom. For that, we should know what is passive income and how do you generate it. So when any of us go to work for a hospital or work for a job, what we get money is our active income, meaning it will stop if you don't go to work. So that is not your financial freedom. It happens when your passive income is more than your expenses, and you should be debt-free. No loans is the primary goal. Now, if you typically look at this chart, which speaks about the financial life of a doctor, initial 20 to 30 years goes on education. Next, 28 to 42 years goes on. Once you cross the 30s, you go into either into work for a hospital, or you create your hospital. At times, at that time period, you get married, you might have a kid or two. And once you cross your 40s, you slowly, you start getting a house, getting a car. Remember, all this is done much earlier by other professions. We start very late. And then by the time we are in our 50s, we have kids who are attending college. And by 65, we think about retirement. So after 65 is when we think that we get retired. So this typically the stage of life cycle, the financial life cycle of a doctor. See, all this time, as our age increases, our income is going up. But remember, it is an active income. Tomorrow, if you have to get up in the morning and say, I can do whatever I want today, that is the highest form of wealth, and that is the highest form of financial freedom. So a stage in which you start working for your passion and not for the money, your salary, which your hospital or your employer or the government gives you, that is the time when you say that you are financially free. So you are not bound. You can decide your time schedules. You can decide when you want to work, where you want to work, and don't have to worry where your money will come from. That is the ultimate stage of financial freedom. That's called having wealth. Having money and having wealth is two different things. You're wealthy when you have enough time and do what you want to do. Now, at the outset, I give this warning about the most common mistakes done by doctors. Once you cross your 40s, you start getting some income. That's when we start getting some tangible salary in our hand. Then you will be approached by some portfolio management system, that is PMS. Photo system or some LIC agent. They will tell that we will give you 10% returns, and they'll show you graphs, etc., which we rarely tend to understand. But that is the biggest mistake you can do in your entire life, because if you have to invest 1 lakh for 40 years, just look at this return. After that, you get 7 crores 14 lakhs 72,500 rupees. That is done by frequent churning over of your portfolio. And look how much money your portfolio manager makes. He makes 4 crores 76 lakhs 48,346. This is data from published literature. That is the amount of money which your PMS guy makes from the 1 lakh you invest every year for 40 years. So imagine, this is the biggest mistake you can do. Never get into this. Now, few terms which we have discussed is what is wealth, what is income, what is an asset, what is a liability, what is inflation, and what is the time value of money, and what is compounding effect. So out of this, the last two things is which we should really understand, because we start earning something tangible very late in life, we lose a lot on the compounding effect. So that is where we have to start. The house surgeons or interns or PGs or young pediatricians or doctors there. That is where if you start late, you lose the effect of compounding income. So that's where we have to understand how to start early. So when we'll see some terms. When we speak about asset, just remember this formula, this GRED. That is the formula which you should understand. This is the formula of different types of assets. So we have got GRED is a short form. It stands for gold, real estate, equity, debt. These are 4 types of assets which you can have, out of which 2 are financial and 2 are physical. So out of which the financial can be either equity or debt, and physical can be gold and real estate. These are the 4 things which we try to create as assets, and these are the ones which give you income. So these are the ones which give you income with respect to passive income. So these will give you money even if you're not going to work. So we should see how we can create these assets as we go along in our career. Also remember, there is nothing if there is income, there is taxes. Something comes in, something has to go. So when you make this, what you really lose is you lose on the capital gain, and you lose on RID, that is rent, interest, dividend. Remember this four things. This is how your compulsory standard outcome will go from your income. So we should remember that we should create this GRED, that is gold, real estate, equity, debt, and we'll see what ratio and how to create. And remember this, we also have to calculate these four things: capital gain and RID, that is your outgo. Now, when your assets are giving you more income and when your outflow is low, that is when you create wealth. If your outflow is more than your inflow, you don't retain anything, you don't create anything. So remember how to create it. Remember this, no one becomes wealthy buying policies, plans, and schemes. The most common thing which doctors or which we are made to believe is that LIC. LIC is the biggest scam which you can have in your life. Those are the ones which we are made to buy. The right when we start our career, somebody, our relative, friend, somebody will come to you, doctor, take this, you have no time, this is very good returns. That's the biggest scam. LIC is good only for the agent, not for you. I'll show you calculations. So just the moment you hear a plan, a scheme, a policy, stop. Don't waste your time. It's waste, because all these things are for the agents and not for you. When we talk about financial education, why should we have financial education? Number one is life expectancy. We all are growing older and older, living longer and longer, thanks to the improvement in healthcare. We also know that the compulsory inflation, which is 6 to 7%, which decreases the buying value of our money. Meaning, if you have 100 rupees today, after 2 years, it is only 94 rupees, only 89 rupees, because there is 7% inflation. 14 rupees of that 100 rupees is gone. So if your 100 rupees does not grow, your 100 rupees after 2 years becomes 86 rupees. So that is compulsory loss. That is inflation. Third is lifestyle inflation. We all want to have better clothes, better scooters, or better car, better house, better lifestyle. So there is lifestyle inflation plus monetary inflation plus aspirations. You might want to buy a big house or buy a premium car or want to have a vacation, have a whatever this is. So ultimately we earn money so that we can fulfill our aspirations and inspirations. So these are the reasons why we should know financial education, and that is how we have to mold ourselves. So point number one is correcting or aligning our attitudes and beliefs. Number two, we will discuss about principles, what and why. And number three, we will discuss the logistics as to how we will do it. At any point of time, anybody, if you want to stop me, can stop me. I'll stop and explain there. So number one is aligning our attitudes and beliefs. Number two is getting principles. So I told you about GRED, gold, real estate, equity, debt. We should know how we create what ratio and how to do it. Those are logistics. Should you buy shares or should you buy mutual funds? When should you buy insurance? When should you buy Mediclaim? All these things we should know. Now, first is the attitude and beliefs. We are all trying to make to believe that money is bad, making money is bad. Come on, everybody works for money at some point in life. If you're lucky, you can stop working for money early in life, or you have to work for money till your death. Money is not important, is what we are told. We are also told that money is the root cause of evil. We are also told that money doesn't buy happiness. And then for doctors, we are told that finance is very difficult. It is not my cup of tea. And the last, we are told by people that you're very busy, you don't have the time. Let us manage your money. We are very smart. Exactly what is money? Earlier money was used as barter system, coin, etc. Then it has gone over and become, today it's an SMS which comes in your phone. X amount of money has been credited to your account as salary, or X amount you're paid as your EMI, or X amount you're paid as your GPay to somebody else. Remember, money is not important, but everything what is important needs money. You accept it or don't, or negate it. Money is not important as what we are told. We are made to believe that, but everything what is important needs money. So you should understand the value of money and keep it where it is, not get it over your head. Just remember this thing. It's called ESITL, a small mnemonic: earning, spending, investing, saving. ESITL: earning, spending, investing, saving. The ratio how you go about it decides how early you become financially free. If you earn, spend, then invest and save, it is not correct. It should be earn, save, invest, then spend. If your cycle goes anti-clockwise as what we in this picture, then you become financially free earlier. But if you go clockwise, earning, spending, investing, saving, gone. You will take a longer time to become financially independent, or you may not even become financially independent. Remember the right triangle. Insurance, tax, and loan are compulsory evils. There is no way that you will save or you will get away from paying tax. If there's income, there's income tax. If there is gain, there's capital gain tax. If there is sale, there is again capital gain tax. Anything, the government will tax you. Government is a partner in everything of your income. It is a solid and naked truth. Next is insurance. Two kinds of insurance. One is life insurance. Second is medical insurance, which is compulsory insurance for everybody, every human being. We have to have it. If not, we will be taken aback. And the third thing is loan. So out of which we should know what is a good loan, what is a bad loan. We'll discuss it later. Now, in our life stages, less than 30 years of age, most of us spend a majority of time in learning, and we might hardly earn anything. If there are house surgeons in this gathering, and if there are people who are young in your career, well, that is where most of our time goes, and you can hardly earning. 30 to 60 is when we start active earning something tangible, whatever it might be, and we start creating wealth. Remember, I'm telling you, being rich and being wealthy are two different things. We are talking about wealth creation, not money creation. Wealth creation is creating GRED, gold, real estate, equity, debt. And once you cross your 60s, our focus is on wealth protection. Means whatever we earned, we don't want to lose. Also, it should give you some earning so that even if your practice decreases, you become unhealthy, your skills decrease, your earning, your lifestyle should not get affected. That is what wealth protection and passive earning. Now, these are two things of income which we discussed. One is active income and passive income. The moment the second part becomes more than your first part, you are financially free. Meaning, when your passive income, which can come from trade vesting, that is a concept in WealthCon of trading with investment. Next, capital gain. You buy, you invest something, it becomes more, you sell it, you get money. Rent, if you have something which gives you rent, like a commercial space or a second home. Second, next is interest. Interest from your fixed deposits or whatever debt instruments you have, and dividends. Dividends from shares what you hold or scripts what you hold. Once that income is more than your salary, if you're a government servant, or more than your professional fees, then you are free, you are financially free, you don't have to bother. Now, we should focus upon trying to create the second part of our income more than our first part. The moment we reach that, we can say that, well, you can look at the right part, you can play golf or go to a beach and do whatever you want. We discuss about earning spending. There are two types of spending. One, Dr. Ramnath calls it pawns and pops. Pawns are products of need, which we all have to compulsory spend for food, water, shelter, for transport, for telephone, for our daily things like kids, books, computers, etc., internet. These all are needs. You cannot compromise there. You might change on the extent of what you spend on all those things. The right is where you waste your money. Those are products of prestige, like expensive jewelry or premium cars. I'm not telling that you should not have all this. You can have all these once your passive income is more than your active income. Unfortunately, most of us are infatuated by the cars your friends or your cousins or somebody have, or the lifestyle they have. We try to spend a lot of money on pops and less on pawns, not pawns, on saving. And that's when the negative thing starts. What the Pops give you only a status on WhatsApp or Facebook or some party, which is short-lived. Nobody values it. Driving a premium car does not make you a better doctor or a better surgeon or a better person. It only makes shows off for people for some time on whatever social media, whatever you have got. Now, we spoke about ACTIL, earning, spending, and investment. Now, there are two things of investment. One could be just dumping some money which you have got, if you're surplus money, or you take advice from your agents, friends, and you go into, nowadays it's very common to have these fraud schemes of doubling your money in 10 days or doubling your money in 1 year, or then you hear some social media news about this share going up. These all are not investment. That's what most of us do. We believe LIC agents or your friends or somebody and invest money that is gone. That is called dumping money. It is not investment. Whenever you do any investment, the right is the thing which you have. Every investment has an exit plan. Every investment is calculated. There is a risk. You know what are the cost, what is a tax, what is the risk, and what is the return. This is what we should know. So it's called Cutler. What is the cost, tax, risk, liquidity, risk, return. This is what we think when you make of any investment. There is no investment without an exit plan. Say you want to buy a house in 10 years. Well, that 10 years is your exit plan. You have to get your kid married in 15 years. That 15 years is your exit plan. You have to get your son or daughter to med school or somewhere at 12, after 18 years. That is the exit plan. So there is no investment without an exit plan. And we are made to believe that it gives 10% return, 12% return. That is not important. The first thing you should be asking the person who's trying to sell you a policy is that what is the cost involved? What is the liquidity? What is the risk? And what is the tax implication? And that's what we discussed. GRED. I repeat it 10 times, 20 times. Gold, real estate, equity, and debt are the reasons where we will diversify and make our income. And for that, we need education. That's the idea of this whole thing, education. Financial education, what we are not taught formally is what we have to learn right from residency or starting of your house surgeon, so that you start spending money on bonds and savings and not on pops. Now, we spoke about diversification. Why you have to diversify? Why you have to diversify between, what is diversification? Putting your money, splitting your money into this GRED, into gold, real estate, equity, debt. So that if one goes down, the other goes up. If you put the old saying, if you put all your eggs in one basket, one egg becomes bad, the whole basket becomes bad. So you have to diversify your money and you should know how to go about it. Now, just look at the simple graph. If you look at gold and equity and you look at debt, you look at it, debt means our fixed deposit in banks or debt mutual funds. These are places which we call it debt. If you look at the gold and equity on the left chart, it is volatile, meaning the value keeps changing, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Whereas look at debt, it's a straight line. But look at the eventually both goes up. Eventually both goes up, but the equity and gold will give you more returns than debt in the long term. What is long term? Is more than 7 years. Anything less than 7 years is called short term. Now, if you look at this chart. If you look at this chart, I spoke about gold and equity. So gold, if you look at gold and equity, if you look at these two charts, which shows that both go up eventually. But when gold is down, equity is up. Equity is up, gold is down. That means they have kind of inverse relationship. But eventually, both of them go up. Coming to gold. Now, this is where many of the female doctors or ladies in this group might be unhappy. Don't count your physical gold, which you have a jewelry as investment. It is actually a liability. It's a liability. Any gold which you use as for your ornaments is not an investment. It is liability. Because why? You lose a lot on making charge. You don't get any returns from it unless than just the increase in value of the gold. Whereas these are the other three ways of investing in gold, that is sovereign gold bonds, gold bees, and gold coin is physical gold. look at the different heads in which the returns are created. If you invest 1,000 rupees in gold with 8% returns over 8 years, after 1 year, look at the difference. Gold, sovereign gold bond, which actually has been stopped by this month, the government of India, the value comes to 2,100. Gold Bees, which again exchange traded fund of government of India, which comes to 1,600. Physical gold is 1,700. Look at your ornament, 1,470. So actually, it is much, much less than what you would have created. You would have got if you had invested in any of these paper gold, like gold bonds or gold bees. So remember, your jewelry is a liability. Don't have it more than what you need. It's waste. It is not creating you an asset. It is not an asset, it's a liability. Similarly, before I go into the next part, we spoke about real estate. The house you live in cannot be counted as part of your real estate portfolio because the house you live in is a liability. It's a hard truth. It's a liability. The real estate becomes a part of your portfolio if only if it gives you income. The house you live in is taking your money. You have to spend on electricity, pay on government taxes, municipal corporation taxes, housemaid, etc. So it is eating your money. So it is not the real estate part of investment. A second house if you have, or a commercial space if you have, which is giving you income per month, then it becomes a asset. If not, the house you live in is a liability. Now, the D part, GRED, the debt part. The debt part, everybody should have a debt part in your portfolio. Which are the common ways of having debt? One is PPF, that is PPF account by the government. Fixed deposit, which most of us doctors tend to put in, which actually is a foolish decision because if it is more than required, the inflation eats into your investment. If you're getting 7% as interest, and the inflation is 7%, what is the value of investing it? It actually decreases the value of your money. Then there are government securities called GSEC, liquid B, which is again liquid exchange traded fund. Then there is liquid funds. These all are different kinds of mutual funds. So these are the avenues in which you can invest your money as part of your debt component of your portfolio. Now, the most important part of your portfolio, which is going to give you income, is equity. That is E. Gold, real estate, equity, debt. So we discussed about gold, we discussed about real estate, we discussed about debt. Now we are discussing about equity. Equity part is what is going to drive your growth or drive your portfolio. Now, out of which we can either have exchange traded fund or ETFs, which are actually mutual funds, but they are not actively managed. We'll see how it is. So the common type, they are called Bs, Nifty Bs or Junior Bs. Then you can have stocks where you can directly buy the stock from the stock market via a broker in a demat account. Or if you don't want to invest into stocks directly, or you feel you don't know how to decide, then there are mutual funds. Mutual funds are what are mutual funds? There is somebody else, a fund manager will buy stocks on your behalf, and there they will take their charges, and they will take a part of the charge and give you the rest of it. So this can be either direct or indirect. Please don't ever buy any regular mutual fund. Every mutual fund has got two subdivisions, a direct fund and a regular fund. You will be sold only regular fund by a fund manager or by an agent, because if you sell directly, the agent does not get any money. They will never tell about it. And it can be flexi cap, large cap, mid cap, small cap. These are depending upon the type of the company based on market capitalization. Market cap means nothing. It is number of shares of the company and the share price. And coming to stock, there is a formula, a screener, which you will learn once if you join WealthCon. If you're interested, they will teach you how to screen funds by yourself and make your investment. MBTDS. These are the screeners which have been created by Dr. Ram and been tested over by more than 1 lakh doctors. which are funds, which are shares, which is very unlikely to go down. So probably it will be too complex or probably not the purview of this discussion. So the MPTD stands for market capitalization more than 10,000 crores, price chart, tax chart, dividend chart, sales chart. So if once you join Wealthcon, if you join the Telegram group, you get all these things. You can do it yourselves, or you got videos how to do it yourselves. There are people to help you. Doctors, only MBBS doctors, not even any other specialties, right? Then there is MD Sport. These are different criteria which has been taught by which has been devised in Wealthcon by Dr. Ram and others to see how to select a share. Now, the mutual fund, which is where most of us. So I would say that once you start your career, if you are not having the time or you're not inclined towards investing stocks directly, start buying direct mutual funds. Remember, mutual fund is not just equity, but anything. And the formula that we all are being SIP is fund. SIP is not mutual fund. SIP means systematic investment planning. It just means you put every month X amount or X shares in mutual fund. It is like you pay loan EMI. EMI stands for equated monthly installments. Same way it is SIP's systematic investment planning. So you have to every month put money. So every mutual fund does not mean SIP. Every fund has got SIP. So you have to select a mutual fund and do SIP in it, irrespective of your expenditure. That is how you start creating your passive income and starting your portfolio. We are all made to believe that mutual fund sahi hai. It is sahi hai, but not safe hai. All funds are not safe. You should know how the fund can go wrong. Look at this chart. The difference between direct versus regular. I told that no agent will come and sell you a direct mutual fund. They'll only sell you a regular fund. This is right from internet. Look at this. If you invest 10,000 rupees per month for 20 years, look at the assumptions. After 20 years, you see the regular fund and the direct fund. Look at the difference. Look at the amount of money you are giving to the agent. Huge amount. You will think it is nothing at one go, but look at the fund returns. With the same returns, roughly same returns, you are losing 17 lakhs. If you're putting 10,000 rupees per month for 20 years in the first fund, after 20 years, you are giving 17 lakhs to the agent. Is it worthwhile? It's your money, your hard-earned money. The agent is getting because he sold you a regular fund. Now you can understand why there are so many agents who will become LIC agents and mutual fund agents. They live out of this. They live on your money. It's because of your ignorance, not their smartness. Now, again, in Wealthcon, there's a criteria to select mutual fund. It's called Karese criteria. It depends upon the age of the mutual fund, which category it is, more than 5 years, what is the asset under management, 500 crores, returns at 5 year, 3 year, 1 year, what is the expense ratio, Sortino ratio, alpha ratio. Don't get confused. It's very simple. If you just look up the Wealthcon website or Wealthcon videos, it will teach you how to do it yourselves and how you can do SIP into this monthly. Now, those of you who are investing in mutual funds or want to start mutual funds, remember it should be direct mutual fund and a growth option. Never a never dividend payout, because you don't want dividend from mutual fund. You want it to grow because it's your passive portfolio. So it should be a growth mutual fund. It should be diversified. You should not have all funds in same company. Some should be large cap, some should be mid cap, some should be small cap. Don't have more than 10 to 12 mutual funds. It becomes too difficult because ultimately they all invest into some shares of the same company. Don't go by the fancy names which you see in newspaper: thematic fund, ESG fund, sectoral fund. These all are things which they make to confuse you. Never buy in NFO. Never buy a new fund offer, because will you write a medicine which was launched yesterday? No. You will wait for it to be tested, the clinical trials to come out, then you will prescribe it to your patient. Similarly, why do you want to go buy a new fund offer when we have got already proved medicines or funds with a good track record. And even after you investment, even though it is a passive investment, don't just invest and forget. It is not fill it, shut it, forget it. At least once in 6 months or once in a year, you have to review the funds under this criteria. Is it fulfilling this criteria? If it is that, you can continue. Now, the compulsory evil, taxation. None of us who have got income in any part of the world, any country will be devoid of this. We cannot get away from this. Taxes are compulsory evils. Again, there are two types of taxes. You have to calculate this into your expenses, because this is going to eat into your income when you try to save or spend. There are two types. One is indirect tax, one is direct tax. Indirect tax, which none of us escape, they are the GST, that is goods and service tax, excise or excise duty, custom duty if you import something. All of us are compulsory made to pay this at any goods or service we buy or give. Medical profession is exempt of GST, but not cosmetics, not dentistry. And then there is direct taxation. That is our income tax, which all of us are taxed, whichever we get. Then there is capital gain tax. Capital gain tax is the income you generate, is the tax taken out of the income you generate when you buy and sell securities, shares or mutual funds. Then there's professional tax. Then there is security transaction tax, commodity transaction tax. These are taxes which are taken from you when you buy and sell any shares or mutual fund or any financial product. Then there's property tax, the tax which you're paying to the government for holding your house. All these are direct and indirect taxation. So you should know this and calculate this in your planning. Remember, as doctors, we all think, everybody thinks that we have got a lot of cash generation. If you have private practice, your patient pays you in cash. You get your fees get paid in cash. Remember, cash generation is not tax savings. You cannot spend more than X amount of money if you generate cash. Whereas you might be having, say, 1 lakh rupees cash income, but you cannot put it in share market or make it grow, because it has to be declared in your white money. So cash generation is not encouraged. You should know how to build your wealth after tax. So it's called post-tax income to build assets. You should calculate pre-tax expenses. You should know how to take advantage of slab rates. You should know what are the deductions available to us as doctors. We have got many things like set-offs, exceptions, rebates, etc., indexation, which we can use to our advantage if you know it, to decrease your tax liability. Remember, none of your CA, none of your accountant will advise you this, because it is not their problem. It is your job to save your money, your job to find out how to take legal exemptions, legal deduction, which is not cheating, not black money, because none of them will tell you, because it is not their money, it's your money, your job. So again, it's not the purview of this discussion today. You should know that there is taxation. There are ways to save tax legally, provided you know how to do it. Now, insurance. Remember, we all should have insurance. None of the LIC policies which give you 1 lakh, 2 lakhs is not worth. No doctor should have life insurance less than 1 crore. It looks very little. Anything. So the rough formula is it should be 20 times your monthly income. The amount of your health, your life insurance should be 20 times your monthly income. And it should be a term insurance. Term insurance is the kind of insurance which will not give you any money after you die. We are made to believe by LIC people that, sir, you don't get anything after you die. You don't get anything. Remember, if you need 1 crore term insurance, which is not term, you will end up paying nearly you nearly 1.5 to 2 lakhs every month as premium. If you take 1 crore health insurance, which is life insurance, which is direct and term, if you are in your 20s or 30s, it will hardly cost you 10,000 rupees. So that is why all of you house surgeons or interns or early in career, start your term insurance early, because once, say, you take a 2 crore insurance when you are 25, it will be only 10,000 rupees for you. It stays 10,000 till you are 75 years of age. Whereas if you're 40 years of age, for the same 2 crore, you have to pay 50,000 rupees premium. That is why I told about acute and chronic osteomyelitis. Start this right early. From that 20,000 rupees what you earn or 10,000 rupees you earn, keep 2,000 away for your term insurance, because it is important for your family after you die, not when you are there. So it should be term insurance. You should have riders like accidental death and disability, which hardly cost 100, 200,000 rupees more, but take all these riders. Now, when it comes to general insurances, we all should have health insurances, which again should be from a company which has got a good track record. If I can hold it here, the so-called Star Health, which we all believe as the best health, is a worst health insurance. They have got caps and clamps everywhere. So read between lines and take insurances. Again, there are compulsory insurances for our cars, scooters, CT scanners, or machines in our hospitals, again, which are compulsory. We also should have indemnity insurance, because we are professionals. Anything which creates any malpractice claim in a hospital, depending upon your specialty, you should have appropriate amount of indemnity insurance, and also insure your property and car against fire, etc. So these insurance is a compulsory expense. It is not investment. Don't mix insurance with investment, which we are made to believe by all the LIC and mutual fund agents. Split both. Only insurance is term insurance, health insurance. That should be compulsory. Now, this is what I said about about life insurance. It should be a term insurance, 20 times of annual expenses plus loan if you have any. Don't take it more than 70 years. Why 70 years? By 70 years, either you check out of the planet, or your assets, you have enough assets to take care of it. So don't have to pay more than 7 years. It should be an annual payment. Don't take monthly payment. And these are the only use of LIC for our financial life is buying a term insurance. Nothing else should be bought from LIC. Only a LIC term insurance. If I can say, it's called the tech term insurance. That's the name of the insurance, LIC. The other good companies are SBI, HDFC, ICICI. I have no allegiance to any companies. Why I am giving these names are there? Because these companies are there today. They might be there tomorrow also. Any small company which will be there today, you need it after 20 years when you die, or 30 years. If the company is not there, what is the value of your money? So only buy from companies which have been there with proven track record, and don't buy any insurance come investment. In WealthCon, these are called ignorance plans. Don't buy any plan. It's wasting your money. Coming to loans, remember, modern day, earlier we used to be, we were slaves of, labor. Today, all of us are slaves of debt, slaves of loan, slaves of credit card. For that, we should know what is a good loan or a bad loan. Remember, there are only 3 good loans. One is a home loan, second is a hospital loan, third is education loan. Why so? Home, again, we know it's a necessity for all of us. It's a product of need, not product of prosperity, right? Hospital, why is a professional or hospital loan good? Because that hospital loan is going to create an income source for it. Next is education loan. Why? The most biggest investment we can do is invest into ourselves. So education loan, these are the only 3 loans which are good. The worst loans are credit cards, personal loans, or loans to buy cars, auto, whatever things you want, loans to buy mobile phone. The worst thing a doctor should have is take a buy a loan to buy an iPhone or X phone, whatever. So just take it verbatim. Don't ever get, because their interest very high. They only create liability into you, not asset. Whereas these three things create assets to you. The best thing is to have no loan. If you have to take a loan, you should take the smallest amount of duration, lowest interest rate, and lowest charges. Always talk to the bank or whichever manager about prepayment penalty. Always take a loan in which there is no or least prepayment penalty. Once you take a loan, don't prepay it. Pay it at that amount of time which you have got. Strictly, don't ever use credit card for buying anything without having money. You should use credit cards only for things like international payments or travel booking, etc. Don't ever. Today the current thing is that, sir, your CIBIL score is very good, I'll give you enough money. CIBIL score is slavery score. They are trying to see that how much amount they can squeeze out of you. So don't go by all this the claims. Ideally, if you have a credit card, use it for whatever transaction, immediately pay the money back. Don't let that, because if you see, most credit card tax you at 1% per month. So 12% per year. Imagine the amount of money you have to pay. So don't ever use credit card other than for this. Don't use it to buy cars or buy something fancy which you cannot afford. When it comes to financial planning, we spoke about GRED. Based on the age, if you're in your less than 40 years of age, 10% of your investment should be in gold, 40% equity, 40% real estate, 10% debt. Once you cross your 40s, your equity exposure can decrease from 40 to 30 and increase your debt exposure. Still, gold and debt should be 10%. I hope I'm clear. So make sure that this is a rough formula. And whenever you have your residence or house urgents, split your things. You can make 3 accounts, figuring 20,000 rupees per month as your income, as your stipend or whatever. 25% should directly go into investments. 25% should go for your living expenses. Rest 50% can be used to pay your taxation. If you're a doctor earning more than 2 lakhs, 1 lakh a month, automatically you come into 30% tax bracket. So you can use it. So 50% of your income will go for tax, insurance, EMI of your home if you have, school fees, etc. Compulsory should save 1/4 of your income. Ideally more. 40% is ideal, but at least 25%. Start right away. Let it be an SIP automation. Your salary comes automatic, goes into one bank. So you don't see the money, you don't need to bother about it. That investment could be in mutual fund or equity based upon your risk expense or your information. Now, so we discussed all this about planning. So look your income like this. If you have 2 children, child 2 kids, remember your retirement as your 3rd child. So start planning from day one of, if you're planning to have 2 kids or 1 kid, take retirement as your 3rd child and start planning for it the same way you will plan for your kids' education, marriage, etc. We Indians, we spend a lot, we leave everything for our kids. So remember that retirement or you is your 3rd kid. And then have also things like home, vacation, etc., which is all necessary, but you should always, you can go for your aspirations only once you deserve to desire, so you should get into that. Now, to conclude, number 1, be self-reliant. Don't rely on agents, LIC, your friends, somebody to give you. Educate yourselves. Start learning. If it is never too late to start planning. Take actions if you're into wrong plans or regular plans of mutual funds, etc. Stop them and make them into direct. If you don't have direct equity plan of it, start a demat account, etc. Start a demat, etc. And start buying whatever shares you decide and start planning it. Also, don't ever buy any ignorance plans, etc. All the name called plans are absolutely frauds. And then also start planning your tax. You should know that taxing is only is a part of your income. You have to plan it into your portfolio. And if you have any loans, try to clear it at the earliest. That's most important. After all this, the ultimate aim is what? Ultimate aim is to be financially free. Again, like what I said, it is such a way that you get up in the morning, you have all the time for you, so you can decide what you want to do. With that, I'll stop and I'm open to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ranjit sir, for that lucid presentation on all the 4 components like gold, real estate, equity, and debt. The floor is open for discussion. I would like to invite Riyaz sir, if he's there on this platform, for a few comments. Riyaz sir.
റിയാസ് കാണുന്നില്ല, ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
Okay. So we'll continue with the discussions.
Any question ask me, sir?
Any questions in the chat box? Gopi?
I don't see any questions in the chat box.
ഈ മ്യൂച്വൽ ഫണ്ട് ഡയറക്റ്റ് ഗ്രോത്ത് ആൻഡ് റെഗുലർ ഗ്രോത്ത് പറഞ്ഞില്ല, അതിന്റെ ഡിഫറൻസും അതിന്റെ ഇതൊന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റും?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get the question. Just got a call.
You said that investment should be direct growth. This thing, better to avoid regular growth. This thing.
Yes.
So can you
elaborate? Sir, so if your mutual fund has been sold to you by an agent or your bank manager, it will definitely be a regular fund, because like I showed the calculation, they have got high fund management charges. If they sell you a direct fund, they earn nothing. They will never sell it to you. So if you're holding some mutual fund, first see if it is fulfilling the criteria which I mentioned, the KRSA criteria, the category of it, what are the risk returns, etc. If it is good, if it is regular, immediately stop it and convert into direct. If it is a good, use the same fund but convert into direct. If you keep holding it, the returns are there, but once you close it, the agent will take a lot of your money. I showed the calculation, 17 lakhs for just 10,000 rupees per month, which all of us pay, invest into some mutual fund. After 20 years, he will take your 17 lakhs. Why should you give it to him?
So every fund have this regular and direct.
Yes, sir. Every fund has got regular and direct. No agent, without thinking, if somebody has sold it to you, it has to be regular. It is not agents. Yeah. So is it better to close your home loan? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Being debt-free is the first thing of financial independence. If you can afford, please close your home loan early, whichever way it is, because loan-free life is blissful life. So you have to close that with no doubt. If, sir, with the LIC plan which you have already taken, there's a formula. If you are within 1 to 2 years of reaching whatever maturity it is, continue, close it. If you are going to pay more than 10 years, immediately close it. They will tell you, the agent will kill you when he comes to close it, because he loses income. Just close it, because if it's more than 10 years, a lot of calculations involved, which are, once if you join Melcon, all this is there in the charts. It is waste. So stop it and convert the same money which you're putting in LIC into a debt, into an equity mutual fund regularly, or put into, if you know how to, just to make a demat account, which is very easy as buying something on Amazon or Flipkart or whatever. You can just put SIP into it, automate it, the money will give you more returns. I can make it more complex by giving you all calculations, but enough has been done on it. just stop it, and you have to book. They will tell you you lose so much money. Fine, I'm losing it, but you're saving on the further lose you will create by further investment on that. The moment you say I'm stopping your plan, the LIC will come to you and say, sir, you have paid so much, only so much more to pay. It will not give you 6% returns. LIC. You know what? FD gives you 7.2% returns. Why should you pay for the agent for 6% returns? It's not worth it. All LIC, I can say with vengeance, is waste. The only use of LIC is direct term insurance, nothing else.
Sir, എനിക്കൊരു ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ട് സർ. സി
Yes,
എന്റെ
sir.
ഒരു ഡൗട്ട് സർ. എന്റെ ഹോം ലോൺ ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ 12 years ആയിട്ട് അടച്ചോണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. It should get over by another 5 years more, 5 to 6 years. അവര് പറഞ്ഞ കാൽക്കുലേഷൻ വെച്ചാണ്. Should I close that now because I already paid that initial interest part now? ഇനി നമുക്കുള്ളത് I got to 5 to 6 lakhs left.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it
Adile, yes, sir. Sir, Adile, see, if you look at the EMI calculator, our starting 90% നമ്മുടെ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് മേടിക്കുക. ഇഫ് യു ലാസ്റ്റ് ആകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കുമാണ് ഈ നമ്മുടെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ കിടക്കുക. സാർ ഇന്ന് കൊടുത്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ നാളെ കൊടുത്തെങ്കിലും യു ഹാവ് ടു ഗിവ് ഇറ്റ് ദം, റൈറ്റ്? ഇപ്പം സാറ് കൊടുക്കുന്ന ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് എത്രയാണ്? 9% ആയിരിക്കും അല്ലെ? 8.25%. അപ്പം സാർ ഇനി ആ കാശ് കൊടുത്താലും 8.25% ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് സാർ കൊടുക്കണം എന്തായാലും. അത് സാറ് പ്രീപേ ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതേ കാശ്, ആ EMI കൊടുക്കാനിരുന്ന കാശ് സാർ എടുത്ത് എല്ലാ മാസവും SIP ഇട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കണ്ണടച്ച് യു ഗെറ്റ് 12%.
Okay.
So you are getting 4% more. So it makes sense to close it. എന്താണ് സാർ കൊടുക്കണം അത്, റൈറ്റ്? കാരണം അവർ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞു. അപ്പം അത് കൊടുത്തിട്ട് അതേ കാശ് think you are paying your prepay EMI നേരെ എടുത്ത് SIP ചെയ്ത് ഫണ്ട് ഇട്ടാൽ 12% ബ്ലൈൻഡ് ആയിട്ട് കിട്ടും. If you are smart, you will get 18%. Right? So you're getting a benefit of 4%, 5%, which is worthwhile, right?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else?
Sir, buying this mutual funds through online platforms, whether they are taking a lot of commission on that or
no, sir. In a direct, so whenever you have got mutual funds buy, there is in this there are compulsory expenses. So the expense ratio should be least. That is the advantage of this direct fund. Direct fund have got least expense ratio. ഏറ്റവും സേഫ് ETF ആണ്. ഞാൻ ആ നിഫ്റ്റി ബീസ് പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ, എക്സ്ചേഞ്ച് ട്രേഡഡ് ഫണ്ട്സ്. അതിന്റെ എക്സ്പെൻസ് റേഷ്യോ 0.01%. Whereas if you buy a regular plan from somebody, it will cost you 1%. അവർ പറയും 1% ഉള്ളൂ, ഒന്നുമില്ല സാർ, 1% ഉള്ളൂ. This 1% is on your entire portfolio and it is based on your transaction, not based on your profit. സാറിന് കാശ് നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാലും അവർ 1% എടുക്കും, ഗുണം കിട്ടിയാലും 1% എടുക്കും, right? And they don't control it. It is controlled by the fund manager. Whereas you can say the same thing by using in the same fund directly, in which the expense is very low, right?
No, in the same platforms you can buy the direct fund.
Yes, sir. So you can, so if you look at Zerodha is one of the most common discount broker. അവർക്ക് coin എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം ഉണ്ട്. അവിടെ you can directly buy direct mutual funds. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ you can go AMFI, Association of Mutual Foundation of India, AMFI വെബ്സൈറ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. അവിടെ പോയിട്ട് you can create an account. എല്ലാം ഫ്രീ ആണ്. And you can buy the fund directly from AMFI. The only thing is you should know what to buy.
Okay.
You buy is SIP. എല്ലാ മാസവും ഇടണം SIP. What to buy, അതിനാണ് ഈ Karesa criteria of WealthCon, which will filter out other. If you join WealthCon, if you just look at the website, അതിൽ കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട് how to do it yourselves. And you can shortlist 5 or 6 funds, 1 large cap equity, 1 small cap, 1 mid cap, 1 debt. 4 ഫണ്ടിൽ you can keep putting every month as SIP. Regular, direct. I mean, direct growth, not dividend repayment. Dividend payout.
Grow is also another platform.
Grow is another platform. Yeah. Grow is another. There are so many platforms. Grow. Never buy from things like HDFC and ICICI.
Okay.
HDFC and ICICI are not discount brokers. They will give you only regular funds, not direct funds. Direct funds you can buy only from things like Coin, AMFI, Association of AMFI website. When I have not used Grow, sir. And Coin I use here.
Sir, there are a couple of questions also in the chat box.
Yes. Yeah, which is better, SIP or one-time investment? Very good question. SIP is compulsory, madam. SIP is compulsory. One time is, say, you are having a regular equity investment which you are already there, which now you understood by this, it is a mistake. You'll stop it. That money has to be immediately put as lump sum into a direct fund. Don't do SIP there. And again, one time you say you're doing SIP every month. Suddenly you got some bonus or some extra cash. That time you can put one time. SIP is compulsory. And if you switch from regular to direct plan today, yes, madam. Unfortunately, that's a truth. If you switch from regular to direct, today or tomorrow, your agent will take the money. He'll take the money. So better do it today. Your tomorrow's money is saved. How, Dr. Ajit, how to change? Simple. You tell your agent you want to stop. If you're doing SIP in your account, stop the future moments. Remember, the moment you stop it, he'll come killing for your life. Just stop it. And if it has got a lock-in time, hold for the lock-in, then redeem the money. And if you are, as per your calculation, as per your screening in CARESA criteria, if the fund which you have been doing SIP is already good, continue the same fund. Say, let me say, Mirai Asset fund, equity fund, Mirai Asset. If your Mirai Asset regular fund is doing good returns as per the CARESA criteria, stop that regular, put Mirai Asset direct fund. Because your company is good, your company is good, fund is good, only thing you are having it regular, not direct. Stop it and convert it into direct. RBI bond, yes, sir, definitely. RBI bond is a part of the debt portfolio. We discussed 10% of your portfolio should be debt. RBI bond is one of them. They are there are safe bonds. They'll give you roughly 8% interest. MF Central, yes, definitely, Dr. Sajeevan. MF Central is definitely it is AMFI, Association Mutual Fund Foundation of India. Their website is AMF Central. Definitely can use it. What about capital gain tax when we switch from regular? Yes, madam, Nirmala madam, like we discussed, whenever we buy, when we sell, if you get gain, you're due tax. Definitely when you switch from regular to direct, you have to pay tax, but today or tomorrow you have to definitely pay it. So do it today and save your further investments. Upstocks, yes, Upstocks is a demat account. Upstocks is used for buying and selling shares. I don't know if Upstocks has got mutual fund, but if mutual fund is having this thing, it will be directly, it will be regular. So the question, how to join Welcon? Madam, I'm putting my number. You can just SMS me or message me on Telegram on this number. I will send this to the admin. So two things, you have to be an MBBS doctor. You have to give proof of your registration of MBBS or this one, and then they will confirm you're a doctor and you will give given admission. Kuvera, yes. Kuvera is again another platform. It gives option to switch from regular to fund online. Yes, you can do it, man. But again, the same process. If it is there to regular, it will be sold and bought. So you have to pay number one capital gain tax, which you will get once if you're in profit. Next, whatever your agent has to get, he will get. NPS, yes, sir. Again, there is NPS 1, NPS 2. NPS 1 is definitely, it's a part of your debt component. NPS 2, it is not worth it. It is because it is like any mutual fund account. NPS 1 is definitely good if you're into government service or anything. Again, earlier government used to give 50,000 rupees debt exemption under 80 EEE in the old tax regime. But now in another 2 years, the government is making the NTR or the new tax being compulsory, in which there is no exemptions under section 80D or 80DE, wherein there is no point of having NPS, but you can still keep it as part of your portfolio debt component. Large, mid, small cap, which to choose? Ma'am, you have to have definitely large, mid cap and small cap all in your portfolio, depending upon your capital. So if you've got less than 50,000 rupees a month to invest, it is better to go for mutual fund. If you have got for more than 50,000, it is better to go, you can go for directly shares. In your 50,000 rupees, if you are able to pay 20,000 rupees per month in your investments, you can say put roughly 5,000 rupees into large cap, 5,000 into mid cap, and small cap 5,000. It's called weightage, which probably is more complex than telling right now. But roughly you can split into all three. You should have all three because all three have got different kinds of growth. Kind minors start account Zerodha. No, minors cannot start account in Zerodha. Remember, this minor account thing is a farce. I will tell you why. How does the minor income from? The minor income comes from the parents, right? We know there's a clubbing of income. Even if you pay to the minor makes profit, it gets taxed under you. So it is a false thing to think that a minor account is beneficial for child. Better thing is start an account in your name and invest into it like you would do for a minor. And once a child turns 18, convert the whole thing and give it to the child. There is no taxation janjat. If not, you have to pay a lot of headache in clubbing income, splitting income, etc. So better is start one account on your child's name in your mind, in your name, but for the child. Once child turns 18, transfer the entire money to him or her, and they can share or invest from that.
Dr. Ranjit, how to take SIP and mutual funds directly or via bank?
Sir, never by a bank. When you say bank, it is regular, not direct. You can simply open an account in Zerodha or Coin, which is free, and just choose the fund and do it automatically in your account. You can set up SIP, which fund, how much rupees. You can also set up a bank mandate in which automatically money goes from your bank to the coin or your whatever agent you're using, and the shares get bought, or the SIP, the mutual fund gets bought. You don't have to rely on anybody. Pension fund maturing, yes. So the very fact your pension fund maturing means you're actually in your 50s, 60s. So that time your idea is more of capital protection. So that fund should be put again into a debt fund, not into equity fund. If you're still earning actively, you can split it between equity and debt, not into real estate, not can put into gold also. Remember, gold roughly gives 8% growth, not more. It is slightly 1 or 2% more than your 8 to 10% more than your. Remember, this growth, we should always consider post-tax returns, PTR, post-tax, post-inflation returns. So if you're earning 12% in your interest in your whatever income you have got, but you're paying 30% tax, 7% inflation, that means your 12% is only actually worth 2%. I hope you get it right. 7% is inflation, 3%, 30% tax, 7 plus 3, 10. 12% you're getting. 10 you lost. Only 2% is what you're getting, what you're earning. If you are giving, your bank is giving you only 4%, your money is minus because you already inflation is 7%. Already your 100 rupees became 90 rupees. That's why FD is the worst part. It should be only the debt part of your portfolio, not more than 10%. The rough calculation is you should have 6 months of your monthly expenses in your debt component. 6 months of your monthly expenses, not monthly income. So if you got 50,000 rupees per month or 1 lakh rupees as your monthly expense in your house, you have 6 lakhs in your debt component. This 6 lakhs could be 3 lakhs FD, 3 lakhs liquid mutual fund or debt mutual funds. Your choice. ET Money, yes, ma'am. Again, ET Money is another app. I have not used it personally. I think it is again direct. It should be direct. So whatever platform you use, don't confuse. C for direct, C for growth. Don't go for IDCWD, which is dividend payout. Don't go for that.
Sir, we are running out of time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ranjit. It was a very informative talk. One thing about doctors, as you said, that we never bothered, or we always thought that we don't
Yes,
know
sir.
about
Yes, sir.
financial security. But nowadays,
Yes.
the realization that you have to be financially secure is dawning on doctors. In my time, when we were young, we never knew what is it about it. So talks like this will be very helpful, especially for the house surgeons to plan their future. As you said, we have to retire early and live a very happy life. Thank you, Dr. Ranjit. I thank Dr. Shimi and Dr. Johnny for their valuable input. And I also thank all the participants in this Zoom meeting. Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you once again.
Thank you,
We'll
sir.
wind up the
Thank you.
meeting. Thank you. Good night.